So here's
Bill, what kind of hot chocolate did you get? Is it flavored or is it just regular hot chocolate?
it's regular, boring, no-name hot chocolate.
I got Aero S'mores hot chocolate and I don't like it.
See, my mom told my dad specifically to get the good stuff. I even wrote it, the good stuff, on the list.
What
It
is
gets
the good
no-name
stuff?
hot chocolate?
It's no name?
No Name is good shit, man.
It's okay.
Depending.
Oh, I think
Okay,
it's
but I wanted decadence. So my
Welcome
top 10 list.
to
God damn
episode.
it, Will. Phil, you're interrupting
God
our
damn
hot
it,
chocolate talk.
I'm gonna. If I had. Welcome to episode 9 of
Oh,
Hour
shit.
of Sour.
That's what I should
Heart
have
of
made for
what?
that.
Oh my god, you guys suck ass. And on the
You
1
don't
year
need,
anniversary,
like, we can do a
God.
quote open, Phil. It doesn't matter. Like,
Hey, look,
people know
Will and
the
I, oh
show.
shit, hold on. Will, we can cheers these. Look at your camera,
Yeah.
dummy.
That's not
Blink.
necessarily
Look at
where
that.
he will be. And in
Yes, it
some of
will.
Seasonal.
welcome to our 1 year anniversary show, which is going splendid. Oh, now you don't want to talk.
Yeah, now
Okay.
No,
we're
it's like,
quiet.
Phil, you can't like say one sentence
Why
and
not?
then
Son of a
stop and
bitch.
say nothing. You have to
That-
lead somewhere.
But what I like too is Will or Phil bitches at us for talking too much, and then he says like, "Oh, all right, here's to our 1 year anniversary." And he's like, "Well, this is where you say something." I'm like, "God damn it, you're bitching me for fighting." It's like being
Man.
married. You bitch at me for talking, and then when I talk, you bitch at me for talking.
we
too
have
much.
Like
we
I'm on
have-
Rob's other podcast.
we have reverse problems here.
Yeah.
Anyway, watch and complain 1 year anniversary. We've had about 91 YouTube videos. 100
91 YouTube views.
yeah, that's it. Probably.
Check how many
115
we have.
115 TikToks. And less hair.
And probably about 50 podcasts because I keep on forgetting to put them up.
Okay, so that's why you were asking me about the podcast, because I
Yeah.
thought you were doing it regularly. It's like, please do this because I'm
I
not-
do it relative like whenever I remember, and I'm like, you know what, every Monday, like every time I publish it on like Wednesday, I'm like, all right, move forward. Every Monday I'm doing it, and then like the next Thursday I'll be like, oh fuck, forgot to put it up on Monday.
At first, he was really good at this. And
Yep.
now he just doesn't give two shits.
Yeah.
And doesn't check the views. And
like
does
Jeremy
yeah.
Renner and
I'm
Hawkeye.
surprised we're still doing audio.
yeah,
podcasts.
exactly. I'm not even paying attention.
I just farm it, like just drop them all.
Just
Who cares as long as they
farm
get
it.
out there?
Get
That's
someone
it.
overseas to do it for you.
Yep.
So
I got a question for you, Rob.
Nope.
What has been your favorite? I'm throwing this out of the blue, so I'm not prepared to answer it. But what have your favorite moments been doing this show, not just of the show?
I think my favorite moments are
Hiring Will.
hiring Will, because we pay him a
This is
shit
the
ton,
other
way
thing.
more than he's worth. But no, I love being challenged on why I need to prove why I like something, or why I
Yeah,
dislike
same.
something, or having other people kind of challenge what I think of something. And if there's one thing you guys have been able to do, it's have different opinions, not be afraid to bring up the fact that you have different opinions and to defend those opinions. So it really goes without saying, well, to I guess to people that, because it's a hard thing to verbalize. There's some people that are just like, as soon as I say, what are you talking about? Book of Boba Fett's fucking awesome. They're like, oh my God, yeah, let me find it's good.
yeah,
Know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
there's people that are like, you are fucking wrong. This show's a piece of shit. And that's the kind of conversations I like to have, because any sort of art is only good or bad because you discuss it. And I love having a medium. And that's one of my favorite things since all this started, is having a medium to be able to discuss stuff like this with different opinions. Just because we have different opinions doesn't mean that we don't respect each other's opinion. So I'd say from minute one, the one thing is, especially when Will came in, we disagree a lot, which is good, because that's what comes up with entertaining stuff to listen to and to consider. From
Could you imagine if the show was just us agreeing all the time?
That's what I mean. That would suck.
Oh,
All right, Phil, what about you?
I love looking at myself constantly. So editing
I hate listening. I can look at myself, but I can't listen to myself. I have the most annoying fucking voice. My opinions are all wrong. And as soon as I start hearing myself, oh, fucking hate
I've
it.
told Rob over and over again that he just needs to watch himself a bunch and get over it. Like, because I've gotten over it a long time ago.
I had a really advanced class in history in university, and they decided to podcast via Echo 360 our class, so you could listen back to it for notes. And it was like, in listening on the rewatch, it's like the teacher is in the middle of a point, and then I interrupt with my voice, which sounds even more annoying when played back, and I'm just like, fuck this guy. Like, it's just derailing the thing. There are moments when like it works for great comedy, but it's like, I don't know, that's why you need another voice, I guess, to break it up. Like, I just my favorite moments, I'll just say, are probably even the ones where I didn't know. Like, I like the Ghostbusters episode, I like the Eternals episode, I like the No Time to Die episode, and I like the Halloween episode. The Halloween episode, probably because I edited it before my YouTube account was terminated, but when Rob goes on the rant about Anthony Michael Hall and versus Paul Rudd, is probably a funny part. And then I'm still recovering from flashbacks to me and Rob violently disagreeing on the Book of Boba Fett, which, going by this week's reviews, just seems like eons ago because it just feels so hilariously pointless. But I'm glad we had that discussion because I've never been animated about anything while being home this whole time.
And my favorite things are inside jokes. Like, we have a bunch of them, and I love when Will's like, I don't get it.
I love when when I'll accidentally say something either at work or around my family, the most common of which is Captain Soldier Metal Arm.
Yeah.
That no one will have absolutely any idea what the fuck I'm talking about. And
I mentally said that in my head the other day, and I was so pissed at you.
Yes.
I'm like,
mission accomplished.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's made me retroactively dislike the show more. I hope you're happy.
Good. We don't have enough people hating us. It's funny how, like,
we need to go and piss people off this year, by the way.
Well, you know what's working is lately I've been going to individual Reddits. So like Hawkeye, I'll go to the Hawkeye Reddit, and then one of the videos most recently I went to, probably Boba Fett or something. No, it was Dexter. I went to the Dexter Reddit. And that got attention, and like you can see the views went up comparatively. It's just sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and TikTok's been a pain in my ass because you cannot figure out their stupid algorithm. I think it's all faked.
I even when I shared mine, like I got the same 300 views. I wonder if it's like the format of what we're doing, like. Because I look at Raiders of the Lost podcast, which I hate, but always gets pushed to my timeline. I don't know if they're paying TikTok or something, but it's just like annoying film bros talking about the most basic thing, but they show like a clip. But then if we show a clip or even anything, then we get copyright flagged. But that doesn't happen on.
I've noticed TikTok that when we do a TikTok and Rob cusses, we get less views.
That's a fact.
Which is something that's been like speculated, and people have been saying that that's a thing in the algorithm.
Have been saying, Rob.
I think that's total bullshit.
I think it's because, like, I don't know.
As soon as you say like assholes or
is it just body parts?
No, it's anything like offensive.
I'll say this though, with Rob, like, I don't know, Phil, how you think of like when Rob swears versus when I swear. When Rob swears, it's like I feel it's like very violent. Like I feel it. Like,
it's got a
I don't know how it
tone.
comes off when I swer. I never like remember swearing.
You know what? It's funny that we mentioned this because, and I'm pretty sure I've had this discussion with you guys before. There's nothing worse than when you're watching a movie, or especially now if you're around like teenagers, young kids, when they swear, but you can tell they don't swear a lot. So it sounds so forced and phony. Yeah. That's one thing I am digging about Peacemaker is you can tell that all these people regularly say the F word, especially John Cena, because it fucking flows so easily out of his mouth.
Why say the F word and then say fuck? What
do you mean?
Well, I like saying...
Okay,
because I like to say that, because I find it's like if I'm referring to it in like past tense or a non-present tense, then it doesn't need to be said because everybody knows what I'm talking about. But if I'm establishing a point of exaggeration, then I feel in the moment, if the heat is there and I really feel strongly about something, just force that across it. It works, but it's interesting. I just wonder how it comes off presented wise. I hope it's added something to the show.
I think people, I've seen comments, some, maybe ones that have been deleted by accident, that have said that they like watching because it's like discussing it with their friends.
Well,
which is funny because we're not friends.
comments
We all
like
hate
that.
each other.
That's right. We all fucking hate each other.
I
Will's
piss on Rob's lawn as I leave.
I think Will looks like the Riddler with his hair, and I think
Thank
Phil
you.
looks like the Penguin, and I'm Batman.
It's funny because
I was going to say an old Bruce Willis.
I should show you guys.
No, you've got the hair of Bruce Willis. I've got the old
What I'm saying.
curmudgeonness of Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
I should show you guys the photo of me.
you don't want to see those.
Before I got my jaw surgery and I had braces and I only had some teeth. I looked like the Joker. So that was
I don't have any of my braces pictures. I my braces got taken off when I was 15, but I had the maybe the opposite of Will. I got like all of us, the worst parts of your parents. My mother had a small mouth. My father had too many fucking teeth. So I got that crammed into one fucking person. I had in grand total, before my wisdom teeth, I believe it was either 7 or 9 teeth taken out to fit me for braces. I was like an alligator. I had teeth all over the goddamn place. And then, it took 5 years to wear my fucking braces and get them to where they are now. So I can definitely share your pain when it comes to fucking braces.
what was your first episode, guys, on of Netflix Weekly?
Oh, it was an audio only.
That's kind of an introduction, I think.
Was it because movie? It was Netflix Weekly.
Yeah, you started as Netflix.
No, it was
Weekly.
because movies, wasn't it?
No, we started as Netflix Weekly. That was that was one of the things we discussed about is you didn't want to do any movies.
You were right at the starting. I agree. Yeah.
So
my whole point.
Right.
My whole point was okay. So he wanted to do it like a general, like we talk about whatever movie that comes up type thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you already have that. You have a podcast that does that every week. Like you need to do something different because otherwise you're just doing 2 of the same podcasts.
And I like that right from minute 1 because I was like, this challenges me. Like, you're right. Let's come up with something different. So I like that.
And then I felt we were too much.
I like that
in a
Phil
bottle.
was challenging from minute 1.
We were too constrained.
What did you review for your first episode?
I don't remember. I could pull it up.
Yeah, well, I was wondering because
Phil discovered I have a 3D printer, and he was like, "Oh, Rob, can you print me this?"
That was
Rob,
later. You were just like 3D printing. I was like, I've heard of that. And now everyone's doing it. No, wait, no, they're not.
Oh, I think I remember. I think I can actually look it up via the box office. Here, even though like the box office would have been closed last year. If I do this,
what are we talking about?
Wonder Woman 1984, maybe.
I have episode 1. Oh, The Dark. Or Dark.
I thought that was like the 3rd episode. Was that our first episode? The Dark.
That was our first episode. Netflix Weekly, episode 1, the pilot and The Dark.
Dark was such a fucking good show.
And we have 34 people that have watched it.
What's our highest video?
That's watched it 34 times.
That's Phil 34 times.
Yes.
Midnight. All right, well, which one have you watched the most? The Mist.
Oh, fuck.
I feel like that one, watch us drink our pee or something like that. I feel like that's the one that people watch the most just because of that weird fucking name.
I love how you just bring that up because like, yeah. I'm trying. They're not giving me a best of most popular. Where's the most popular thing?
Son of a bitch.
Videos.
Well, it has been a fun ride while we've been doing it. I can't believe we've been doing it for a year. That's fucking bonkers.
Oh, it's Codzilla versus Gong.
It will be fun to get back to doing it in person because it's easier for us to yell at each other.
It says it has 5 views.
Oh, you know what? I'm in a playlist, maybe.
You idiot.
I'm totally in a playlist. I'm in Netflix Weekly, the old channel.
But it changes to Because Movies.
God damn it. No, it doesn't. Anyway,
I think for
doesn't
tax
matter. It
reasons,
doesn't-
Phil
That's
keeps
the
on
long story.
changing the name of the show. He's like the Donald Trump of podcasting.
I'm trying to make it better. That worked out.
We're gonna have the best podcast, the best people.
It's gonna be cheaper and in
look
half.
at all our guests, and,
Yeah, we
and
gotta have a
we
guest.
got Rob.
I
mean, we
look
got
at this,
Will.
an empty spot. We need a fourth person. Like that's
True.
all we need. Whether
I
it's
think
a
what we
guest-
need is a female opinion.
Yeah,
So
I
we
was
should
thinking
bring
about
in
that.
a woman
Or a minority, which is a female too.
Or if
a female minority who is disabled.
Oh,
Let's hit all those. Let's check all those boxes. And
Technically,
is also either gay or transgender. Oh,
those
if we
are all
could do a
minorities.
transgender, gay,
Just say a
black
female minority.
woman in a wheelchair, we would check off every motherfucking box.
we
there
are
is.
so off the rails. No,
We could get a
technically,
van,
I am disabled,
Then we can
so
park in all the spaces.
Oh, that's right.
Same.
Phil's our disabled guy.
yeah.
I'm our minority, being so handsome that
so
I'm
Rob,
in
are you
like
going
another
to turn
stratosphere.
down somebody if they're like, I'm disabled, and you're like, oh, we already have a disabled person? Are you going to be like
It
that?
depends on the size of the woman's boobs. I mean, if they're
Oh,
humongous,
God.
then no, I'm not going to turn her down.
You're
I
getting
mean,
us
even if they're
canceled.
not humongous, not
Fucking awful.
Maybe we just got canceled, and that's why we're not famous. When I run this year for MPP, this is like the first thing they're going to go to. They're going to be like, this guy.
Who talked about boobs?
And then it's just gonna be laced with a profanity rant of like Rob, and then like
I'm
uncomfortably
sure
in the background.
that people would think I'm the most sexist, despicable, misogynist pig on the face of the planet, which is kind of comforting because, like I told you guys earlier today, so this morning
You're not old enough to be that.
I'm walking my son to the bus stop, and at the end of my street, there's this older Chinese lady. And I'm not going to see any older men, fine, because I don't care about them, but I'm not going to see any older woman shoveling her driveway. That's just not fair. That's why you're supposed to have a husband or stupid sons. They're supposed to take care of that. So I was like, no, leave it to me, go back, get my snowblower. And I snowblow out this woman's driveway. And then the Indian family across the street, they were older, like seniors, and their car was stuck in the snow. So I helped them push their, and I've never talked to these people before in my life. I've lived on the street for, I don't know, 3 years, whatever. Never talked to them before. Helped them push the car out. I said, I'm going to take care of your driveway. I take care of the front of their driveway. And I came back and I told you guys, it's a constant dichotomy in my own head. And I'm sure you guys have the similar dichotomies, not maybe the same one, but you present yourself as one guy when you need to be that guy. So a lot of times I come up as a gruff, misogynistic prick of a human being, very mean person, doesn't like to get along with people. And then in the same fucking time, I'm digging people out when they're trapped in the snow. And I'm like, no, I'll take care of your driveway. And I'm walking fucking people who, my neighbor runs a daycare. I'm walking these kids to school, picking them up, or to the bus, picking them up from the bus. I like coming off.
That's
the
real Rob.
I like saying that, man, I'm fucking tough.
Wow.
Nobody get near my fucking stone cold black heart. And then I'm like, oh my God, let me walk these kids to school. I'm either a very poor liar or struggling with schizophrenia.
Well, I can't wait to meet the second guy.
Yeah, right.
And to come around here, the
I knew
answer.
Rob was nice. I want to say one thing. I knew Rob was nice when I first met him and came over there, and I thought it was going to be awkward, and you were just more than welcoming. I'm like, I can't believe that this guy's letting me into his home and is just, yeah, this, that, the other thing like that. That was my first impression of you.
And I told Will, show me your dick. And he was like, oh my God.
He did. Yeah.
No, wait, sorry. Show me your penis because I don't want to swear.
That's too late. I'm sure that would come up too as a come on. Anyway, Netflix weekly episode 1, The Pilot and the Dark, actually got 110 views on our current channel. So that with the other one makes it the highest one. But the funny thing is the second highest one is Dexter.
Really?
Dexter Newell.
Oh my God.
And that was recent too. It's
That was
kind of
last
like
week. Yeah.
Yeah.
5 days
So,
ago.
this is the thing is that are we going to have to we generally have interest in all
Life.
of the stuff that we
Movies,
do.
TV.
Are we gonna consider or have to, or do you guys even want to pivot it's where it's we have to review Euphoria or something if it means making us like more popular is my
I think that's what I'm doing. Is like you guys don't get a choice. It's just based off of like popularity of certain
whatever
things.
you say.
I'd review. I'm open to review fucking anything, but I definitely review Euphoria. But Jesus Christ, if you want, like, if I'm already considered a misogynistic douchebag, what people will think of me after I review Euphoria will have me in jail because I think it's a fucking terrible show.
I did get you to do the Fast and Furious movies.
Well, that's
yeah, but Fast and Furious doesn't have any barely legal girls.
I consider it still a conservative show, and I kind of wanted to bring this up as a weekly question of like, although nobody wants to like politicize a movie or something like that, but I have like thoughts on everything that I see of whether it's on the spectrum of progressive or conservative, or I should say that the other way around.
Really, you call it a conservative show? I find it very progressive.
I find it kind of faux progressive masquerade. Yeah, because it's like it's kind of like, to me, it's like a 90s show in a weird way, like a cable, like it is HBO, a cable drama, but it's like Degrassi, if
on steroids.
Degrassi was
which is coming back.
The Wire, but
awesome.
then instead of making everybody poor, you made everybody rich.
You know what's great about Degrassi is the guy who was the like the tough bully guy. He wasn't a bully, but he was like the tough
was
kid.
Jeremiah?
I do not remember his name. All I remember is he used to come into the Zellers that I used to work at back in 1641. The year 1641. when I worked at Zellers, and he would steal batteries.
Which Degrassi?
I guess the very first one.
But Degrassi Street is the first one.
Whatever the first one was, it was the guy from Degrassi would come in, because we would always say, "Hey, there's the Degrassi guy stealing batteries."
You're probably thinking of Junior High, because that's the most known first one.
Yeah.
And there was actually a Degrassi Street that was way back, like around the time, the Edison twins and all those movies. Those shows.
But I remember what are the twins that are in the book? There's the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew. I'm thinking of, what's this school one? All the girls in school. Sweet Valley High. That's what I'm thinking of.
The Babysitters Club.
I'm not as
Babysitters Club, dude. Yeah, Will has no idea what we're talking about.
Did you guys ever see?
You watched the reboot?
Do you ever watch what?
The Netflix series, The Babysitters Club.
I knew it.
No, but I did watch. I believe it's just called The Babysitter. That movie, really stupid, over the top movie.
That movie's okay, but like this is
I enjoyed
different. The Babysitters Club is Netflix's highest rated series on Rotten Tomatoes. Did you know that?
Wow.
I watched it, and it's very casually very good. Like, the characters are all like elementary school kids, women, diverse. It's diverse without being on the nose. Like, there's none of the cringe stuff from that. Kind of remarkable, like them actually having the good writing of the past days with they talk like they don't know what a landline necessarily is, but they get it for the thing as both a callback, but also making sense for the show. You're really invested in the emotional relationships. I only saw the first season, but I'm like, this is casually just like a very good watchable show, and I watched it, and it was like, I might pick up the second season at some time. But I was like,
I know that I personally would be very invested in the emotional relationships of schoolgirls. I've seen a lot of movies like that, a lot of videos.
Well, that's why you have to go to Japan.
On my computer are relationships of schoolgirls.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Often in pigtails with vegetable oil.
Why don't
it's
we?
From 79, the original. I thought it was 90s. I didn't know it went back that high.
Why don't we pivot and go into our top 5 best,
holy moly,
or favorite movies of 2021 to continue our list from last week.
Yeah. All right, who's going first?
I'm going first. Okay.
All right.
I'm doing 10.
You have 5 fucking minutes, or 10 minutes. 10. 1 minute per movie.
I know. I'm prepared this time.
30 seconds. Shit.
Hold on. Where's my timer?
Amateur hour.
You're on a goddamn timer.
Tell me when I can go.
You can go.
Okay. Number 10, Belfast.
Time's up. All right. Well, that was Will's. We're gonna go to mine.
Wow, this bullshit like this is why Belfast is going to win Best Picture. It's fine. It's handsomely made. Keep
Fine.
you at arm's
Why is
reach
it on your
the entire
list if it's
time.
fine?
Talking about my
Because I didn't
penis.
see enough good movies, Phil. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the setting, the story, the characters. Nothing about it pissed me off. It was well photographed. The main kid was good. It's just I wanted it to be even better, and it wasn't because Kenneth Branagh doesn't have that extra level in him. Number 9
Go
was
on.
Old Henry.
Was
Old
it fine?
West. Pardon?
Was it fine?
No, it was good.
Old Henry was
Okay,
fine.
We're in good
looking man.
We're in good territory now. It's
Okay,
made the
good.
National Board of Review's top 10 list, but don't hold your breath because
National Board.
Don't Look Up also made their top 10 list.
Oh.
It was one of those where it's like you're kind of interested and you're kind of taking a back seat, but then a good sequence happens and it doesn't light up. And then the character payoff is very satisfying, and it plays into traditional Western folk heroes and stuff, and really it's just a classic standoff movie. That's all I'll say about that. It's worth your time watching if you catch it. Old Henry. Number 8, Coda. This likely will be Best Picture made for TV type movie, even though it might get a Best Picture nomination. I enjoyed it. It's one of those chooses good subject matter that's not super thoroughly done, and does it in a way where it just is competently executed. Although they kind of lean too hard on the background characters. It's about a child of deaf adults who is underappreciated because she's a great singer, and of course they can't hear them, but they lean on her to run their life basically as being their liaison or transcriber and all of that. And it's a coming of age for her to break out of that. It's on Apple TV Plus. Very good. Number 7 surprised me because it was a movie I thought I would hate. And I
Don't
didn't.
Look Up.
Titan. Titan is just one of those. It's very provocative, and it starts and it keeps going. And along the way, it develops really interesting themes and says them in very clear cinematic language for a subtitled film. That's just beyond impressive. Very good control of it. I might go back and watch Julia Ducournau. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing her name right. I might go back and watch her previous movie, Raw. But it was gruesome in Cronenberg-esque, body horror way, but never boring, which I was worried it was. So that's why it made my list. Number 6.
Never even heard of that movie before.
Oh,
so,
it's on my list. That's
Palme d'Or winner at Cannes Film Festival. So number 6 is Dune. Dune is fine. We all it was probably the closest thing to a sure thing we had this year. It's fine. The rest of the book adaptation is unwritten. We'll have to see how the second part goes out. Everything it does is fine. I find it designed very grand, but kind of boring and safe. And I don't find that Denis Villeneuve adds as much to it directorial wise as he does previously, but I'm sure his only mission was to make sure that it actually gets made. So again, we'll see with part 2, but it's well acted, handsomely done. Nobody embarrasses themselves. I needed a grand epic story, and this gave it to me. Number 5, I didn't think I'd like so much either. King Richard makes a good showcase for Will Smith, the producer, than Will Smith, the actor. I think he misses the mark trying a bit hard in this, but the wife steals the show. The story is very great. They kind of treat it as a superhero origin story. And it also stars a never better, surprisingly, John Bernthal, who
Really?
we know from The Punisher and the Accountant and Those Who Wish Me Dead, Daredevil, of course. Yeah. So he's really good. And I was amazed how, this is Oscar worthy work. I hope he gets a surprise nomination here, because I could see it gets mentioned at the end of the year list. Number 4, we reviewed It's Power of the Dog. Won't go too much into it, but it's fine. Again, masterful themes, slow burn, just enough without being boring. It's as good as possible as I could like from that show, but I find myself continuously thinking about it. Number 3 is a bit of a cheat because it's a comedy special, but I'll include it anyway because it's like a made-for-TV movie, and I need stuff that's great at the end of my best year list. And Bo Burnham's Inside is that. It's a bit specific to his comedy, but it's not without its charms, even if you're not a fan of Bo Burnham.
Didn't you put that in your TV list?
Oh yeah, I did.
That's
But
all right. It's effectively a movie. It is a movie.
yeah.
You're just getting paid to show it.
I'll tell you what, because I included it on my TV list, I'll just say it's funny and worth a watch and skip over it. Number 2 is The Last Duel. This movie I really enjoyed just because it got The Last Duel right. All of the actors in it are good. The production design is good. It has a craftsmanship that I find disappointingly rare in movies nowadays, where they're all of the Netflix made for TV quality movie. And unfortunately, this bombed because Disney fired Fox's whole marketing division. So the $100 million movie that could have been a hit because Game of Thrones was flopped because they didn't know how to market it. But good performance by Matt Damon. Great performance by Ben Affleck. Adam Driver is always good, and Jodie Comer is great. In The Last Duel really delivers in its final scene, and it's worth it for that watch alone. And finally, number 1, the one that lived up to the hype for me, just even because there's still movies to see. There's still West Side Story and Nightmare Alley and Licorice Pizza and Cyrano, and those will remain to be seen. But number 1 for me is Mass, and it is about a response to a school shooting that takes place at a mass where 4 adults, 2 who are the parents of the shooter, meet with 2 parents of the victims, and it is just an acting powerhouse masterclass performance. I think that because it's an original screenplay by this guy Fran Khanz, that he didn't even know how good these actors were going to be, because they go to places where the director kind of leans on it a bit too hard, his own style, and he honestly could have pulled back a bit because the script is good enough and the actors are good enough that you don't need a couple extra directorial flourishes, that add some breathing or technique to the raw emotion. I was gripped the whole way. It's very intense, very well written. Best dialogue of the year, Mass. Ann Dowd is fantastic. Jason Isaacs is fantastic. Martha Plimpton from Raising Hope, she's in The Goonies. She's fantastic. And even Reed Birney as like the 4th character, the husband lawyer who's like off in the... It's good. And it's about how people come together and respond in times of tragedy. And of course, Ann Dowd, fantastic. I wouldn't be surprised she'll probably get a nomination, but that's my top 10.
Nice. Yeah, I heard of Mass, and very similar. I feel like it is going to win one of my spots for the best. I haven't watched it yet. It's one of those movies I want to be able to really sit down and focus on, because I've heard nothing about great things about it. And same as you, Ann Dowd and Jason Isaacs especially. I love watching those actors act, because they're the type of actors that you can see them in other stuff. Like you can see, Jason Isaacs is, fucking Malfoy's
Captain
father.
Hooker.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd love to watch like a play of these actors, because they're so good at acting. And when I heard what Mass is about, and really that it's kind of a
it is
very exactly like very not action oriented, very actor oriented. I was super psyched to see it. And yeah, it's on that, and Tragedy of Macbeth, I think, are going to be 2 movies that really win me over from last year.
Yeah, I saw Tragedy of Macbeth. Thought it would make my list. It didn't. But it's still very well done, in my opinion. It's just wasn't for me, which is funny because I read Macbeth a lot, and I was just like 2 minutes in, I was like Michael Bluth face, like I don't know what I expected. Like it does everything perfectly, but I just, like Ethan Coen, had no interest in the material, so I was out on it.
That's what I was going to say. I wonder if the missing Ethan Coen and Joel Coen maybe being too close to his wife throughout the entire thing is what maybe might be a bit of a death knell for it.
So, Rob, me or you?
You go.
Okay. I think you'll be surprised at number 1.
Dune, of course.
But yeah, okay. Anyway, number 5, The Last Duel. I agree. It was good. I enjoyed it. What did I like most about it? I think what's her face as an actress? What's her name?
Jodie Comer.
Comer.
I think
I always want to call her Judy Comer.
This was like a big one for her in my view. Like I think she did amazing.
I hope she gets Best Actress nominations.
It's like the opposite of what's his face, Ben Affleck.
Which, you mean the guy that was sleeping through the entire movie?
Yeah, I know. Will disagrees with us, but like I just feel like
people like his performance in The Tinder Bar.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, I'm still not going to watch it, but I've heard it's
what was
good.
Tinder Bar about?
I watched it, and my mom did not like him in The Last Duel at all. I think it's a great performance because we don't get enough fun performances like that. But in The Tinder Bar, he's the classic uncle. It's basically a coming of age story about a New York Times writer, future New York Times memoir, best-selling author, and his desire to become a writer, and his shitty dad who's on the radio. And it's just like coming of age, following him up, being raised by his parents, to then that the one downside to it is that like Ty Sheridan is the lead, and it made me realize he's not, like, he was good in Ready Player One. I felt he was miscast here. They cast, I'm pretty sure, the kid who played young George Clooney in Tomorrowland, who's like a beautiful kid, gorgeous eyelashes, George Clooney, good looks. And then it switches to Ty Sheridan, who with like a gross mustache, and you're like, oh, like he doesn't look like him at all. And he's much less charismatic. So it was kind of like one of those roles for him in the wrong way, that it's like, okay, this isn't like, this guy actor isn't as good as I thought he might be. But Ben Affleck is the one who's doing pretty much all of the heavy lifting. And my mom said, I hate Ben Affleck, and she doesn't like him because he cheated on his
Imagine
wife.
that, saying she hates Ben Affleck and doesn't like him.
But she really liked him in this.
Depends on the role. Anyway.
And said he deserved to get nominated for it.
4, The Guilty. I
fuck
see,
that movie.
I like these like one person shows. We had one with Halle Berry, which was very much like this.
Oh yeah. It's got like The Call or something like that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that as well. I enjoyed Buried.
The only thing I read about
done well, I enjoy it really well.
With The Guilty is Jake Gyllenhaal needs to stop the cocaine, because man alive, that guy is at 110% every role, and I'm worried he's gonna die.
But he's wired. He doesn't bring any depth to all his energy, but this is fills a list.
This I agree. He doesn't bring depth to it, but in something like Nightcrawler, he is incredible. And I think
I
you
still
said
haven't watched
Nightcrawler.
that.
Oh, it is The Guilty times 1,000.
I always wish Nightcrawler was about the Marvel character.
Worms.
Number 3, Pig. It's super. Yeah, I know it's on your list, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
I super surprised me, and Rob actually had me watch it. Like I wasn't even going to put it on our show, and then I was. This is what I've always wanted, was Nicolas Cage to get another big movie out. Like, and it was such a small movie, really, but like it.
He might get a nomination.
It was like, oh, I was just surprised, like how it hooked me early on, and it was I don't even know how to put that into words, like how that came across.
And both of us talked about it. You keep expecting Nicolas Cage to go into Nicolas Cage mode, and almost having that in the back of your head while you're watching it makes the movie that much more enjoyable. At least for me, it made the movie that much more enjoyable, as I kept expecting it to go over the top, and it never does.
Such a different premise. Like you would never expect this, and it was weird, but it kind of made sense. So
yeah, the plot of it isn't like, because I saw it in July, and I didn't expect to like it either. I'll say that like I was engaged by it throughout, even though it's in any other hands like a boring story.
Yeah.
And to me, I like by the end of it, I was like ready for more of it. I'm like, oh, that's it. I wanted more with these characters.
And we said, and I said that at the end on a review, is that I would love to see a sequel, even though like it would have to be really done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so number 2 is a cop out, because it's Spider-Man No Way Home.
Cop out.
It's Spider-Man No Way Home. There, like,
that's fine.
I had issues with it because of the theater, not because of the movie, and also because of the spoiling. So I now want to watch it again, and I haven't yet because I'm waiting for a good copy.
You mean for it to come out on Disney Plus?
Exactly, Disney Plus in
February
4K.
when it comes out on digital.
And at that point, I will rehash in a TikTok what I really think about the movie.
No, we should
Because
see it for an
I
episode.
think I'm
Because
gonna
that'll be
like
when
it
Will
more.
and I get to see it for the first time.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, we'll do a full review, and because that I will tell you exactly how I feel without those issues that I had. Number one will probably surprise you. Stowaway.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I can't. It doesn't come to mind.
I believe it was a Netflix exclusive, and it was about a guy that accidentally got boarded, like was a stowaway on a rocket that went up. So he's like a crew member that got, like bonked his head or something and passed out, and he ended up being in the rocket when they went off.
This sounds like an episode of a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Probably because it came out at the same time as Away, that Hilary Swank Netflix show.
Right.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Because I remember, and it's on.
I watched that too. I like that.
Released by Netflix and Amazon Prime. Eh?
Yeah, it was originally. I think it was released slightly beforehand on Prime.
Yeah,
but
more shows that platforms.
That kind of premise I like. It like that. If you told me a movie was going to do that, I would be like, okay, I'm in. I'm going to watch that. And then the main actor in this, if you can look that up, Will.
Daniel Day Kim,
the black dude.
Oh,
it's not Daniel Day Kim.
Amir Anderson.
He is a breakout star for me in this past year. He was in
Winona Earp. You're a big fan of that?
No.
Seems like right up your alley.
Yeah, totally up my alley. Yeah, what was he in? He was in like 2 or 3 things that really got my attention, but I can't remember because I have a bad brain.
Oh, he's also in the movie. Oh wait, no, that was a different thing.
Was he in another Netflix exclusive that was the?
He was in Awake.
Yes,
Rob
Awake.
Yeah.
Yes, we had
Invasion.
such an opinion of the end of Awake, but
yeah,
Invasion though. You watch the show that you watched that me and Rob could not give a shit about,
and he's so good in Invasion. So he is a breakout actor for me. He wasn't the sound. Hopefully this doesn't come off as racist, but
racist.
He's not the lead in Tenet, is he?
You racist? No, he's not.
No, crap. So he's
Bill's
not Bill
racist,
Cosby.
confirmed.
You imagine Bill Cosby in Tenet? Oh, we got the pudding pops, but we're gonna end the burger. Going backwards.
Aside from the ending of Stowaway, which was a leap and not very good, the rest of the movie was really good, and I enjoyed it, and it made my number one.
JELOO in
Oh, Rob, you're top 5.
No, I'm in fucking Bill Cosby mode.
And right, my list by being a racist.
I was surprised, very, very surprised that some of ours wound up on the same list. I didn't expect that at all. But one thing I have similar to Will. I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Will or Phil?
Will. Jesus Christ, Will.
Okay.
One thing I would recommend, I don't get brought to even almost tears very often. I'd say maybe once in a very few years or for a very specific type of movie.
But what all the time?
Well, for pornography, of course, because that's what you're supposed to do. Pornography is cry. But no, a documentary that I admit I was choked up by the end of it. It's called The Rescue. It's a National Geographic documentary about the rescue of those boys, I believe in Thailand. The soccer team that was trapped in the caves. It is spectacularly good. So it's one thing I really wanted to recommend. That if
they cover the Elon Musk part,
they did not. They left all the shit that you don't care about out.
Okay.
They even the deaths of the one guy, the one SEAL guy. They mention it, but not a lot of time is spent on it. The majority of the focus is rescuing these boys. And I loved it. I was fucking enraptured. So it's something I really suggest.
Did they end up sending a documentary crew, or did they just?
They did not. No, it's
secondary?
all it's footage from some of the men that went down there. It's footage from the news crews that were there, footage because it was surrounded by news, footage from like fucking looky-loos that were just there, interviews with the people that had to plan what to do. So it's really good. Even if you're not a documentary person, it's an amazing thing to watch.
I'll go watch that right now. See
another movie I watched. It's, and I should say too, with the majority of my movies that I selected, they weren't best by, oh my god, they blew me away with their story, blah blah. A lot of them I selected, specifically like 2 or 3 of them, because one, I was not bored while I was watching it. It was nothing I'd seen before, and it was a cinematic experience. It was an amazing thing to watch. For me, it's a movie called Lamb, an Icelandic movie, is my, I guess, number 6.
A24.
Yeah, from A24. A24, I think, who have a really good track record so far, I think. But it's Numa Rapace is in it. It's a strange movie, but I really could not take my eyes off it. And I for me, a really good movie that goes into my top 10 list is a movie that I don't look at my phone while I'm watching the movie. And Lamb is it's a slow burn, and that's, you know, like you guys probably know, one of my favorite types of movies are slow burn movies. Very slow burn, very interesting movie. Number 6, I guess, is Pig. Pig was so out of left field that I was just enraptured with it while I was watching it. I did not expect the movie that I got.
One of the best debuts of a,
yeah,
I think
absolutely,
it's a debut of a director, writer.
I believe it is. He wrote and directed it, I believe, together.
Yeah, Nicholas.
Very, very good movie. This next one is a movie just because I love the lead actor. And the idea was so stupid that only this actor could pull it off, and he did. It's Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk. Very kind of dumb premise, but Bob Odenkirk fucking sells it, man. He really does a good job of making this character be someone who doesn't want to hurt people, but is going to hurt you to get what he needs done. I really enjoyed that part of it. Not the greatest movie in the world, but I was constantly surprised by it and enjoying it.
Which bus scene did you like better, this one or Shang-Chi?
Oh, absolutely this one. Shang-Chi was fun. You know, Shang-Chi was a lot of fun, but I love the start of this bus scene when he says to the guy, you can see it, he says, I don't want to hurt you, but I'm gonna, if we go down this road, if those doors close, I'm gonna hurt you.
So is it like one of those Keanu
it's very John
Reeves type thing? What's it called? The fight one. They're all fight ones.
I call it very John Wickish.
John Wick. Thank you.
Yeah, it's kind of John Wickish, but with Bob Odenkirk, who I love Bob Odenkirk. And
what was that called again?
It's called Nobody.
Nobody. Okay.
It has the wrong ending, but it's a fun movie, really fun movie. After that, Titane, I was fucking blown away by Titane. I did not. I read the synopsis of Titane where a firefighter captain finds his long lost son was one of the synopsises for it. I'm like, I don't give a shit about this. It's gonna have feelings and shit. And when you get to that, I want to say, I guess, portion of the movie, you're like, this is right off the fucking rails. It's an insane movie, and I loved it. I was fucking enraptured. It makes no sense, and it does not in any way apologize for how little sense it makes. I loved it. Thought it was just fucking great. After that, number 2 is a movie that story-wise, not great, but cinematically looks incredible. Was Last Night in Soho. It suffers from not having the edge I think that Edgar Wright gets from Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, but cinematically it's beautiful. It looks amazing. Like, it's just the nightmare scenes are just really well done, really fun to watch.
Are there a bunch of jump scares?
No.
I wouldn't call them jump scares because you kind of expect them. They jump at you, but they don't like at the screen, but they pop out. It works for the narrative. The narrative is kind of stupid. It works for the narrative, but I think you'd enjoy it. It's just, for me, it's the part with the stuff with Matt Smith and Anna Taylor Joy, and I always forget the other girl's name. Like the dance, the dance scenes, the scenes where she's mirrored, the scenes where it's switching between the two actresses.
It totally looks like something I'd be into. So
yeah, very, very, very well done. I enjoyed it a lot. Definitely not Edgar Wright's. What's that?
From that sticks out to me is the sleepover scene when she freaks out and he's there, and then the landlady comes in. That's the one thing that I had imagined myself writing as a writer. So I was glad that someone else wrote it.
It relies. The second act kind of drags. Like it arrives where the crux of the story is going to take place. And I'm trying to be as non-spoilery as I can.
Spoil it for me.
Yeah. The second act, you're like, okay, I get it. Get out of this mode. But the reason I was like, all right, you can spend some time if you want to. I prefer you get moving forward. Is it looks so nice. It really looks nice. So
it's an HDR film.
Yeah, it's definitely a 4K movie. You can find it in 4K on whatever streaming service that you belong to. Yeah, definitely watch it in 4K. It really deserves 4K. And excuse me, number one, just because I was so looking forward to it, and to me, it fucking delivered, was Dune. I was really looking forward to Dune. It delivered everything that I wanted from it. I was very impressed by it.
Everything.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Some of the writing was weak.
No, I think the book is fucking weak. I feel like the movie took out the weakest parts of the fucking book.
I feel like I was watching it for a week.
What'd you feel? What'd you feel about, like, because I heard somebody say on Reddit, it's like, yeah, Duncan Idaho, like, who is he to the
DePaul?
Yeah.
To me, even in the book, the character of Duncan Idaho, from a narrative standpoint, and it's going to get all stupid, narrative, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't really matter. Like, the whole story is about Paul becoming something that he doesn't want to become, but he knows he's got to become. You know what I mean? That to me is the narrative crux of the story that I care about. And I feel like Villeneuve really captured that part of the story. All the other shit that, in the grand scheme of things, to me, doesn't really fucking matter. Like the doctor is the best example, because in the story, the doctor is the one that betrays them to the Harkonnens, right? I love how they really quickly get rid of the doctor. They're like, yep, you're the one that betrayed him. Oh, you're gonna die. Okay, great, you're done. Bye. Whereas in the original movie, babble about him a lot. The original story, babble about him a lot. Glad that they cut that shit out. And visually, I thought it was a beautiful movie. How nice it looked. I do not like any of those Skarsgårds, but Stellan Skarsgård really.
Yeah, he's the one that can act. My thing was, do you think, because he's already talking about the sisterhood or the second book, before we even finish the first one, do you think this is going to go down? I'm worried it's going to go down a rabbit hole, and he's like gonna throw in a whole bunch of threads from the second book before he finishes the second part of the first movie, and then it'll keep dragging on. Like, do you think that they'll,
Game of Thrones syndrome?
Will they finish like the story complete and then maybe dangle a few threads? Or
that's what I think is going to happen, because they effectively already have. A lot of the visions of Paul had when he was in the desert is about the great battle that goes on, that basically he becomes the fucking savior of everybody, the Moadib for the people on the Dune planet. And then he becomes like a bigger, like, what's the word? Like a demigod, I guess, for people in other parts of the Dune universe. But I think what's going to happen is, one thing I know you guys disagree with me on, I think the second half is already like 80% done. I think they're doing post-production on it.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and I think he might try to do that, but I wouldn't call anything past part two a sure bet. I'd call it probably not even going to happen. It might be like a fucking, like a West Side Story, like a fever dream that he's kind of always had for 20 years, and maybe he'll get around to doing it. But I don't think it's going to happen. But just for this movie and what I feel is going to be in the second one, just a visually, just fascinating movie to watch. I feel the same as Titan. Titan and Dune really match each other in that. It's so visually. Titan in a different way. Titan was fascinatingly weird. Like when she's fucking scratching at her stomach, and scratches the flesh away, and there's like a chrome underneath it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, it was just fucking fascinating, man.
My question to bring Phil into it is, are there any movies out there that you think will crack your top 10 list?
Ooh, that's a good go away question. You mean like currently or next year?
Yeah, of movies that came out in 2021 that you haven't seen yet, like I mentioned, Nightmare Alley and those.
I'm looking forward. I was hoping that question was a lead into like what we think our lists will look like next year.
Well, next week I don't know, maybe we can do it now, but like what your most anticipated movies for this year are. But for me, my top 10 list is going to be, I think, interrupted by West Side Story for sure.
I look forward to watching that. Yeah.
Nightmare Alley, maybe. I just hear top of the line praise about this, higher than Steven Spielberg usually does. Like, this is the best movie he's done in 20 years. Good. Which puts it back to Saving Private Ryan. He's wanted to make this since he was a child. And I'm not a big fan of the West Side Story, but I'm just work of a real professional with all of the resources possible, making a movie that's storied and very good. I think it'll be top tier for me on my list. And then, of course, my number one most anticipated movie or game for next year is Avatar 2.
I have the most questions about Thor Love and Thunder. You know me, I'm the Marvel guy, but like I'm really wondering what they're going to do with Thor, if they're going to pass on the mantle, which I don't think they're doing. But the whole thing with what's her name becoming Lady Thor, like I feel like that's going to be one of those variant type issues.
It's going to be a one movie story, I think.
Maybe. Yeah, Taika Waititi is good at that.
You don't think it's going to go in line with all the variant stuff?
No,
it's a good way to explain Lady Thor, because I guarantee that's in there.
Yeah, I have to switch to headphones, by the way.
We can. I was going to say we can.
But we're going to end the thing now. I'm like, well, Rob, what was your last?
The only two that I'm looking forward to that might crack my existing top 10 list is Mass and A Tragic Macbeth.
And looking into next year?
Looking into next year, we're looking forward to the Obi-Wan series because I'm the resident Star Wars geek. And really looking forward to movies that were released 2021. I just haven't had a chance to see it. Licorice Pizza, definitely. Nightmare Alley, definitely. And that's about it. I'm sure there are some other ones, but those are the two that come to mind.
Next podcast, we will discuss that topic. I think we'll come up with a top 5 list of what we're most looking forward to and have it apply to both TV and movies. So make up your list and be ready.
Mm-hmm.
And next week, we're also going to be doing Boba Fett 4 and Peacemaker 4.
Woo. So for all of us here at Watch and Complain and Film Gamer, I'm your best looking host, Rob.
It depends who you ask.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if you ask your wife, I am the best looking, but
yeah, my wife. My mother says you're the best looking too. So.
And I'm Will. However you want it.
Goodbye, everybody. Watch and Complain, Film Gamer, and other things.
Leave comments. We like to hear
leave
from
comments.
You.
God,
I won't delete them.
Don't fucking delete them. All right. Now that's how you end a podcast.
Yeah.